Today we're going to use the quadratic formula to solve quadratic equations. And now any equation that's a quadratic equation is going to have an x squared in it. What you'll notice here is right here we have an x squared. That means that this is going to be a quadratic equation. And when we graph it from the previous chapter, we know that that will make a parabola. So first off, you'll notice over here we actually have the quadratic equation. So when we look at this, we'll notice that there's a bunch of a's, b's, and c's in this equation. Well, we get those from the actual equation that we want to solve. So let's get rid of that. Whatever you see that's in front of the x squared, whatever's in front of that, that is our a. So we say a equals 1. Whatever's in front of the x, in this case it's a 2, that is going to be our b. And the last number, the one that's all by itself, in this case it's a -8, that is going to be our c. Now c stands for constant. So our constant in this case is -8. Now basically all we need to do is take these numbers, our a, our b, and our c, and plug them into the formula that we've been given. I do this with parentheses. You'll get a much neater presentation, and you'll make fewer mistakes with your negatives. And so here we go. We say x equals a negative, I'm going to put the b in there eventually, plus or minus the square root of, notice, all I'm doing is creating spots that I will put in my a, my b, and my c. So the first part here, it's a negative b. Well, my b happens to be 2. And then it's plus or minus the square root of b squared. So I'm going to put my b in again. Then you'll notice over here on the formula, if we look at this, it's a b squared, and then after that it's minus 4ac. So I need to fill in my a and my c, and it's divided by 2a. So there's my a on the bottom. Now I just need to simplify this. So let's see what we get. When I simplify this thing, I get x equals a -2 plus or minus the square root of 4. Now we have to be careful here. But what you'll notice is we've got a -1 and a -8. So I know when I multiply this, I'm going to get -4 times 1, which would be -4, times -8. So -4 times -8 would give me a positive 32. So I have plus 32 here. And this is all being divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. Now if I keep simplifying this, I end up with x equals -2 plus or minus the square root of 36 all over 2. Now that doesn't look too bad, but some of you will see that plus minus and not understand what you're supposed to do with that. Okay, well what that plus minus is, and you can see it right here, the plus minus says we're going to work this equation twice. So the first time we work this equation, we get x equals -2 plus the square root of 36. That's 6, right? All divided by 2. Well, that would be 4 divided by 2, which equals 2. And the second time we work this, we get -2 minus 6, that's the square root of 36, over 2, which gives us -8 divided by 2, which equals -4.